your introductory remarks.
Well, some people, I mean, the topic tonight is affordable housing. And just so everybody knows, sometimes the word affordable housing or the words affordable housing carry in some people's minds a stigma about the people. And that's really not the issue. The issue that we're looking at is housing affordability. And housing affordability, quite frankly, oh, you want me to stand up?
Stand up and speak up, please.
Okay. All right. This is better for me, actually. I don't like sitting down when I speak. But what I was saying is that affordable housing has a stigma, and quite frankly, it's really a topic of affordability, of housing affordability. And the Orlando Regional Realtor Association and Florida Realtors has been fighting for this issue since back in the 90s. And the reality is the solution to this issue is not going to be any one entity, one thing that's going to fix it. It's going to take communities rallying together to fix it. It's going to take organizations rallying together to fix it. It's going to take voters rallying together to compel both Washington and Tallahassee to address these issues. Because this isn't a crisis simply in Central Florida. This is a crisis across right now in the United States. And it is hitting Central Florida in some respects, and I'm using the phrase Central Florida because Orlando has been targeted, but it's in Oviedo, it's in Orlando, it's in Lake County, it's all over. It's the regional area that is seriously affected. The bottom line is workforce housing is necessary for continued growth of businesses and improving the jobs. The bottom line is this area, this whole Central Florida area, has increasing housing prices, and at the same time they have wage growth, but the wage growth has not kept pace with the housing price growth. And we have a tremendous reliance on service sector jobs, which carry with it minimum wages. We also have retail trades that after the crisis, the financial crisis that occurred in 2007 and 8, those jobs morphed. And instead of somebody, and people say get a second job, what's the problem? A lot of retail jobs that exist today for young people are shift jobs. In other words, you get your schedule, but you get your schedule 3 or 4 or 5 days before you're to report for work. That schedule doesn't stay consistent. So my son, who graduated with a degree from Florida State University, when he graduated, he could not find a job. So he ended up going to retail. He was paid $9 an hour, and he couldn't get full-time work at that time because of what was going on in the industry. So this is an issue that's going to take many people at the table, many stakeholders. Now, since I've been president of ORRA, I personally have interacted with the Orlando Business Journal, and finally, the business community is starting to realize, hey, this isn't just a realtor issue. This isn't just a banking issue. This isn't just community. This is affecting our ability to bring in good labor and good people to work in our companies. So the Orlando Business Journal now has joined with this. The Orlando Business Partnership Group, OEP, they are now involved in this. In fact, they went with us to Tallahassee to lobby this year for the Sadowski Housing Trust Fund. And that's because people trying to work together. The good news in Seminole County, do you want me to talk about Seminole County specifically in this part, or do you want to hit that later?
Whatever you want to do right now.
All right, well, I'll just give some generalities. But it's going to take at least a decade, if not more, because by rough estimates, there's roughly 15,000 housing units needed to bring us up to speed. And that's today. The other number you need to keep in mind is there's over 1,000 people a day moving into the state as we speak. 1,000 people a day move into the state. 1,400 people a week are moving into this metropolitan area. So that's 1,400 people a week. In addition to that, in Orlando and Orange County specifically, over 1,000 units of HUD housing are going to be taken offline because they don't meet federal standards. 1,000 units. So it's, in the short run, it's not going to get better. It's going to get worse. So it takes, so I applaud this group for coming together to hear about this. And please tell your friends. This isn't, there's going to have to be a whole lot of different solutions, and I have comments on later topics about this. But this is going to take communities working together with government officials, all the people coming to the table. And yes, it's going to mean we're going to have some affordable housing units located in areas that some people might be concerned about or might worry about, but because they're afraid. But let me assure you, housing improves communities. The least of us owning a house raises up a community because of the pride of ownership, and the statistics and the data prove it time and time again. The single biggest wealth building tool in the history of man is home ownership. And in this country, we are blessed, one of the few countries blessed with the opportunity that we can own the land underneath our feet. Because that's not a given in most of the world. So if we can get people into housing and make it affordable for them, we know that lifts those communities up. We know it lifts those families up. We know the school systems improve. We know the students' grades get better. Harris Rosen proved that when he took his personal wealth and went into one of the most blighted areas of Orlando and said, if you will stay in school, I'll pay for your college. They have a 94% graduation rate from high school in that community. And now the doctors and the lawyers and all those people coming back into that community are lifting that entire community up. Now that's not housing related, but that shows you if you give people a lift up, help them, not a handout, but a lift up, ultimately it'll improve the community. So on the specific topics we're here to talk about, I'll get into more of that later, but I yield my time to the next group.
All right, thank you, Jeff.